1940 Europe is burning. From Dunkirk to the fall of France, the world watched, terrified, the new face of war. Blitzkrieg tore up the map. If America wanted to enter the conflict, it would need a weapon on a scale the world had never seen. You would need a tank that could be produced by the thousands. Existing tanks, like the M3 Lee, were stopgap measures. A superior design was needed, with a powerful cannon mounted in a turret capable of rotating 360 degrees. A daring design that could be simplified, standardized, and injected into the veins of American industry at breakneck speed. In Detroit, Michigan, the industrial heart of America, a forge was ignited. The name that would emerge from the flames would be M4 Sherman. This is the saga of the tank that was always there. The vehicle that personified the American production doctrine, the steel heart of the Allied offensive. Urgency was the currency. The final design of the M4 Sherman wasn't aimed for technical perfection, but for industrial viability. Its soul wasn't steel, but the mass production capacity of the United States. Chrysler, Ford, General Motors, Baldwin Locomotive, companies that once manufactured cars, refrigerators, locomotives, now became the arsenal of democracy. The factory wasn't just a building, it was an ecosystem. Tens of thousands of workers, many of them women, became the new backbone of the war. They learned to tame the heat, to transform ingots into shields. The Sherman's hull varied between welded or cast, the key to speed. The M4A1, with its rounded hull cast in a single piece, saved time and labor. The M4A3, with its welded hull, was more robust and easier to repair. This design flexibility was, in itself, a weapon. So what was the true genius of the M4 Sherman? It wasn't its initial firepower, the effective but soon overwhelmed 75mm gun, but rather its chassis. A vertically adjustable suspension system, VVSS, later horizontally adjustable, HVSS, that was simple, reliable, and, crucially, easy to manufacture and maintain in the field. The VVSS system, the original running gear, allowed a battlefield maintenance team to replace a damaged bogie in less than an hour. This ease of repair was a tactical advantage that quickly returned tanks to combat. In a war of attrition, the ability to recover losses was essential. The propulsion systems were also diverse. The first Shermans were powered by gasoline engines, Wright Continental powerful but vulnerable aircraft engines. Later, models like the M4A2 used the reliable engine GM twin diesel, and the iconic M4A3 adopted the robust Ford GAAV8. This diversity of engines was a production trick. If one supply line failed, another was ready to take over. The M4 Sherman entered the fight in North Africa. It faced the Panzers, and it fared well. But in Europe, especially after D-Day, it encountered predators that exceeded its specifications. The Panther and the Tiger, the 75mm cannon, once sufficient, now seemed like a toy against the angled steel of its adversaries. The crew nicknamed it Ronson, due to the vulnerability of its ammunition and its gasoline engine. But America didn't stop there. The genius of production was adapting quickly. Variants were born. The M4 with the 76mm cannon, with a higher muzzle velocity. The M4A3E8, the Easy 8, with HVSS suspension, which gave it remarkable speed and stability. And, crucially, the British created the most feared variant of the Sherman. The Firefly, with its legendary 17-pound cannon, had the penetrating power to pierce the frontal armor of Tiger and of Panther over long distances. The Sherman's ability to be modified, to receive new weapons and new armor, confirmed its value. It was the perfect combat platform. A tank is nothing without its 5 occupants. For the gunner, the Sherman was an easy target, but the cabin was spacious and the 75mm gun was incredibly versatile, effective against both infantry and armor. For the driver, visibility was poor and the noise deafening. But the Sherman offered them survivability and a spacious operating environment. American crews were trained to outnumber and maneuver. They knew that a Sherman was vulnerable alone, but several Shermans working together, exploiting speed and reliable radio, could surround and destroy any opponent. More than 49,000 M4 Sherman tanks were produced, in over a dozen major variants, making it the most important American tank in history. It fought in every theater, served in every branch of the armed forces, and remained in service with Allied countries for decades after the war ended. What defined Allied victory was not a single act of genius, but the capacity for industrial-scale production. The M4 Sherman wasn't the best tank, but it was the right tank at the right time, and most importantly, in sufficient quantity. It was steel forged by urgency, the resilient heart beating in the chest of the offensive. A silent testament to the determination of a people who knew how to transform car factories into war forges. The M4 Sherman, the embodiment of American industrial power.